welcome everybody. Again, my name is Roberto Carlos Lemos. I am the co-founder of Affluent Hispanic Philanthropies, a 501c3 nonprofit organization putting together initiatives like this one, for the community. And I want to wish everybody a happy Hispanic Heritage Month. This is definitely one of the ways that we help our community by educating them. And this is my co-host, Jose Diaz Romero.
Hello, welcome.
And we want to welcome our Google digital coach, Roberto Martinez. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit what you do.
Hi, Roberto and Jose. Thank you so much for having me here. Encantado. Love what you guys are doing. Me llamo Roberto Martinez. I am the Google digital coach and national trainer. I've been helping Google reach out to our community, small business entrepreneurs, Latino, African American, to help humanize the brand for the past 4.5 years. I represent the Google brand. I'm based out of Los Angeles, and what I'm here to do is to help you guys grow and scale your company using Google tools and Google services. Some are free, some are paid, some are in between, but that's what I do. I'm beyond happy to be working with Roberto, Jose. You guys are amazing. I love the work that you guys do at the community. I'm so sad that I missed you guys at Latitude. You guys looked like you guys were rocking and rolling and making things happen. So happy to be here, Roberto, Jose.
I know you have some really great information to share with our audience today. In this day and age, with everything happening, everything has gone digital. If your business wants to pivot to what's happening now, you have to go digital. So I know you have some great information that you're going to be sharing with us today. And let's get on with the show so we can share this information with everyone.
Fantastic. I know folks are still joining in. Lupe, so here's the good thing, Roberto. I was just in LA Optimized Academy, and we had office hours, and we invited everyone from those office hours to join us. So there might be some people joining, like Lupe just joined us. And Hector, Hector just added me on social media. It's great to connect. It's great to connect with other entrepreneurs who are growing their companies, who are growing their online presence.
Yes, Hector Rocha is doing an amazing job out there. So keep up that good work, Hector.
Yeah. No, anytime we could cross promote and help each other out, I'm all about in any way, shape, or form. So let's get started. Let's get rocking and rolling. We want to make sure we have enough time for Q&A. And so let's get started on digital skills for everyday tasks. So I kind of mentioned who I am and what I do. I'm a Google digital coach. I've been doing this for Google for the past 4 years. Very excited to be here today representing the brand, and more than anything else, helping small businesses understand how to leverage Google tools and Google services to grow their business. If you want to join us for future workshops, feel free by going to g.co Digital Coaches LAX. You can sign up for future workshops. If you have any questions after this session about Google tools that I've communicated with you guys, feel free to email me at robertomar@google.com. We could definitely talk about how to use those tools that I'm presenting today. All right, with that, we all know how stressful things have been the past couple of years. Since 2020, I want to say March of 2020, we're almost done with 2021. It's crazy. We're living in the future. I always tell that to my team. So how do we work remotely? If you guys didn't invest in Zoom and in Google, you guys should have definitely done that. Amazing opportunities here, because now more than ever, everyone's working remotely. And we want to keep you on task. We want to make sure that you have your own space to leverage the Google tools available to you to be able to work online and work remotely. So we're going to show you how to work smarter, not harder, so that when you are using these tools, you can leverage them, grow with them as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a nonprofit, or maybe just as someone who really wants to get a better understanding of how to use Google tools and Google services. So here are the top things that we want to think through when we're thinking about working remotely, and what we can use through Google, through the Google workspace, to be more efficient and effective in our day-to-day lives. Gloria, thank you so much for joining. Jose and Roberto have such an amazing network. Absolutely love it. Okay, so let's talk about what the session today is going to have. We're going to talk about how everyday tasks are being able to be used when you're working remotely. And we want to talk about how to use a to-do list. This is very interactive. So if you do have a laptop, bring it out, use that laptop as I walk you guys through how to use these tools very, very easily. We also want to talk about, we have a bunch of team members, Jose and Roberto, are always moving. They're moving at a million miles per hour. I can barely keep up with them. So we sometimes are responding via text. Sometimes we have a living document online that we want to communicate on, and I'm pinging them on certain content. They're pinging me on certain content. So we want to show you guys how to do that and how to share that progress, share those reports using the Google G Suite services and the Google Workspace services. So first and foremost, we're going to start with how to create a to-do list using Google Sheets. Google Sheets is very similar to the Microsoft suite of services, and it's very intuitive. And why would we want to use the to-do list? Anytime we start a project, anytime we start our project and we're trying to run as fast as possible, but we also want other team members to see what and who is doing what and how fast they're doing it. The to-do list is critical. We also want to figure out how to create meeting agendas on Google Docs, how to make sure that when we actually meet with clients and meet with team members, we're very, very efficient and we hit every single target. You know, within Google, there's certain tools that we use, but more than anything else, certain strategies and tactics that we use to be efficient. One of the things that we do is we always have an agenda and always have key deliverables that we're trying to hit within that agenda to keep us on track. As a matter of fact, certain team members do not even let you meet with them unless you have an agenda already in place that you could send over to them so they could know what to address. We also want to use Google Slides to make presentations. The presentation that I'm using right now is on Google Slides. So we want to be able to create the presentation, but also have our team members come in and comment on those presentations, be able to say, hey, Roberto, I don't really like this slide. How do we improve on this particular slide? How do we make it more jazzy? How do we add video to the slide? How do we add music to that slide? And how do I make sure that you saw that message? We're going to talk a little bit about that, how to go about doing that in this presentation. So with that, let's get started. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them as I'm going through this presentation. First thing I want everyone to do is to log in to their Gmail account. Everyone should have a Gmail account. Everyone should be able to log in and go through this process with me in real time. So we all did that. Hopefully we also have Google Chrome. And if we have Google Chrome, it'll be very, very easy for us to log into our Gmail account. Okay, so let's talk about Google Workspace and all the different applications Google provides you as someone who uses their platform. You know, you have Gmail, you have Chrome, you have Photos, you have Slides, you have Documents, you have Sheets. And as I'm going through this presentation, please tell me a little bit about yourselves in the chat. Let me know the company, the organization, so we can have a better idea of how to humanize this process. For now, I'm going to use Kitsal and I'm going to use Hector as an example. We sometimes, when we create content, we might pull images from Google Images. We might go to Google search and then click on the image section and then download images to create very, very high value, high touch images on our social media posts. So how do we access that? The first thing we want to do is, if we have Google Chrome, be on Google Chrome and then go to our grid. That grid is that little, it looks like a tic-tac-toe box, and right there is where we're going to find all the different applications that we have the moment we register with Gmail. And that's free, no cost to you. You get them automatically. From there, we're going to create a to-do list with Google Sheets. So what is a to-do list with Google Sheets? What does that even mean? Well, we want to be able to create content and create action items for our projects. Let's say we're launching a new social media campaign. Let's say we're launching a new October events campaign. We want to make sure that everyone knows what's going on in October. Or let's say it's Hispanic Heritage Month. We want to make sure for the next 2 weeks, we're putting amazing content on social media or on email. How do you go about doing this? Well, we want to go on New, within the Drive. We want to go to Sheets. We want to click on Templates and then click To-Do List. So here's Google showing us how to go about doing it. And then once you're in that to-do list, I want you to go in there and populate your sheet. Add a to-do list task and a date. Then I want you to be able to write out the copy of what you needed to do. So I'm gonna walk you through all of this, and then I'm gonna show you how to do it in real time. We might want to add a column. We might want to add additional information and populate a column so that we can add more information on that section. We might also want to populate and create a row. So on Google Sheets, just like Microsoft Excel, you have the capability of leveraging the Excel sheet to create what you like. So in this example, what we're showing you is who owns this action item, right? We want Paul to own that action item, we want Heather to own that action item. It all depends on what the project is, and we can thereby list the different people who are responsible for that particular aspect of that project. Very, very intuitive, very, very easy. Gloria here's combinations, prior practice and holistic healing, modalities like medical intuitiveness, hypotherapy, down Chinese medicine, shaman, etc. Absolutely love that. I have a friend that's a shaman, and he's always trying to take me to his sweat lodge up in the valley. One day I'll do that. One day I'll be adventurous enough to jump in there. Okay, so now we did that. We might want to color code our to-do list. We want to show, you know what, this is high priority, this is low priority, or we might not even like the green. We might want to change it to blue or yellow or red, depending on whatever color is more appeasing. This is especially important, at least from my standpoint, when it comes to branding. We want everyone to know our brand. We want everyone to understand what color we represent. Then once we create that, you can always click on the tab button and always find your document on the Google Drive so you can access it whenever you want to. So now let me go through that experience with you in real time. You guys are all seeing my screen. I am going to click a new tab, and within that tab, I am going to go to my grid. There it is. I'm going to go to Drive. There it is. Then I'm going to go to New. I'm going to click on New, and I'm going to click on Sheets, and I'm going to click on Template. That opens up the template, and now I'm going to scroll to find my to-do list. I'm scrolling. Here it is, my to-do list. There it is. So now I want to list my to-do list. Let's say a to-do list with Jose and Roberto. And so how do I add a column? I circle around C, the column C, and I right click with my two fingers, and I could go here and I can insert to the right, and Google said owners. So let's say I'm gonna add a date here. It's 10/5, and what I want to do is meeting around the website dev for restaurants, and I want Jose to be responsible for this one for, let's say, event marketing campaign for Hispanic Heritage Month. I want Roberto to be responsible for this, and down it goes. And so now let's say I want to share this document with Jose and Roberto. I go up here and I have that share functionality. Right now, this document can only be accessed by me. No one else can access it. I'm gonna click on share, and I'm gonna add Jose. There he is, Jose Diaz, and Roberto. There he is. And I'm gonna send him a note. Please review the action items by end of day 10/5. So now I just emailed them to both of them, and now they have access to this document. And Sergio Johnson, if you want, later on, we'll send you the PDF so you can review this document so that you don't miss a beat. Okay, so now I send that over to, no problem. I send that over to Jose and Roberto, and if they were logged into their Gmail account, they would get an email that says, hey, Roberto has given you access to this document. To show you how that looks like, I could do that, and I could send myself one, I think.
We got it right over, actually.
Oh, fantastic. There you go. So they received it. They received that email. So now they could log in and be on this document in real time. And they could go and review the material and comment on the material and say, hey, I already did this, Roberto. I already took care of this, and click off of that, right? So this gives you a lot of functionality, and you can add as many categories as you want. Oh, the last thing is we did change the color. What color do you guys want? Jose, Roberto?
Do it gold.
Gold, baby. That's right. So let's see how this looks. That looks good. I'm not mad at it. Looks
I
pretty
like it.
nice. Yeah, fantastic. So that's an example of how we can go about leveraging Google Sheets to create that to-do list. Now let's go back to our presentation and share with you guys how to create an agenda with Google Docs. Okay, so now we showed you how to create a to-do list. And now maybe you're the project manager for a new project and you create this massive to-do list, right? And you prioritize it. We want the most important things to go on the top, the least important things to go on the very bottom, and the average things in the middle. Now we want to set up that meeting and have Jose and Roberto be part of that meeting so that we can go through it. So how do we go about doing it? It's exactly the same way we just did it for the Google Sheets, but this time we're going to do it for Google Docs. We're going to go into Google Docs. We're going to go within that template and we're going to look at the meeting agenda. Now, as you saw here, we're in the drive. We click on new, we go down to Google Docs, and then we click on template. Now, it's important for us to create this particular document according to what we need. This is just a template. You can create your own template. My company, I have my own branded template that looks a certain way because I like it that way. It's preference, and I like the colors to be my colors, not anyone else's colors, because what's really important is we want everyone to remember our brand. And so, I remember interns and marketing associates, and these are people who just came into a company that I was working with or I work with, and they'll create these templates and they'll create these agendas, and I'm like, hey, what the heck is this? And they start laughing at me. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, yeah, this is not branded to the color scheme of the company. This is not formatted to the color scheme of the company. This is not structured to the format of the company. And they're like, why does it matter? And I'm like, well, it matters because I want every single time my customer touches me. So let's say I'm having a meeting with a client. They look at my colors, they look at my brand, and they're just like, oh, this is the company. Everything that they do is formatted and structured, and it creates trust, right? So here we are creating that trust for our customers. You play how you practice. I love that phrase. And this is how we practice. We practice by creating everything formatted, everything templated a certain way, even the font. Our font has a certain type of font. We don't deviate from that font. We want everything to be the same. So every single time the customer touches us, they know that's exactly our font. Now, let's say we want Jose or Roberto to make a comment on a particular line of business. Hey, when are we going to have that meeting around the websites, or can you provide us an update on the client website, or whatever it happens to be? You can tag that person on Google Docs so Jose knows when we meet, I would like for you to address this particular subject matter in the team meeting. We can also collaborate by giving access, and we already did that. I already showed you how to do that, so I'm not going to dwell too much into this particular piece. So let's actually go through and show you how to go about doing this. Okay, so now let's go back to this page. We go to the grid, we go to the drive, and then in that drive, we go to new, we go to docs, templates, and within this particular page, we go to agenda. Let's see, which agenda do we want to use? Man, even in terms of use, they have all kinds of free content for you guys to use. Did I miss it? I think I did. Project, meeting notes. I think they use this one. So we'll use that one just to keep it the same as the Google presentation. There it is. Meeting notes with Jose and Roberto. Let me see. Wait, I want to be fair. Yeah, let's flip it. Let's say Roberto and Jose because we want to be fair. Oh, and Jose, because we used the other one saying Jose and Roberto. Okay, now we have that document. Fantastic. This is great. So now let me show you what I mean. Edit. All right. So now let's say on the new business line, we have a budget for website. And remember, we created that action item. Now I'm going to use this little add sign. And it says add comment. And I'm going to add our friend Jose. Now I'm going to use Roberto because he's the one that I asked to create that budget. So I just tagged Roberto on this particular content. and I want him to provide, can you provide us with a budget update during the meeting? And I assigned it to Roberto, and now he's able to go in there and in real time go into this document, realize that I want him to amend or edit this component, and also on this particular piece, comment on that. Hey, Roberto, I saw your comment. I took care of it. I'll be ready when we have that meeting. Beautiful. We're on the same page. No one's confused. I think we have, yes, please follow Roberto and Jose on Affluent Hispanics. So this is a document here. Now, there's another slide that Google showed us that right now only Roberto has this. So we want to give access to Jose as well. Here's another cool feature that we might want. Let's say I have a team member that I want to add here. Let's say I have James, but I do not want James touching this document. Or let's say for Hector, you have a client meeting and you have the agenda done, but you do not want your clients, or Crystal, you do not want your client to go in there and ruin this agenda. You spend 30 minutes creating the agenda. You want to keep it nice and tight. It's finalized, no more edits. So we go here and we change it from edits to view, or from view to comment. So now the client, the prospective client, can view the agenda without making amendments to the agenda, because I've had it happen before. This is years ago. This is like 5 years ago now, 2017, 2016, where I shoot out an agenda to one of my clients, and our clients doesn't really know the platform very well and receives it, and I gave them editorial capabilities, and they go into the agenda and they start deleting and they start adding and they move things around. And then when we meet, I'm like, what the heck is this? And they're like, oh, I thought you wanted me to comment on it. And I was like, oh my goodness. And you can obviously go back, and there's some functionality here where you can go back right here, which is really, really cool. You can click here so you can see all the edits available to you, which is really, really cool tool to have, where you can track all the different edits that people made. So I went in there and I kind of went backwards so that I could see the edits that they did. Now, I want to show you one more really cool tool here. I don't know if it's going to work because I am on mic, but let's try it. So let's say you're very, very busy. You're running at 1,000,000 miles per hour and you don't have time to type. You're like, oh man, I can't type all the notes. Maybe I just want to verbalize the notes. So you go to tools, you go to voice typing, and there it is. This little tool here that allows you to record your voice. So keep in mind, it's a tool that's, I wouldn't call it beta, but it's still learning. It's still a software that's learning. So it's not as, it sometimes makes mistakes, is what I want to say. So let's try it. Let's try it out. Hello, my name is Roberto Martinez. Can you make sure to reach out to Jose and Roberto when you get a chance? And that way, see, and so I want to stop that because I don't want to keep that. And that, so there it goes. It typed for us, right? I just talked into the document and it started typing what I was saying. This is great, right? And it's complete, right? That's pretty cool. And it's free 99. And so when do I use this? I use this when I'm very busy and I don't have time to type my notes. So I need to communicate my notes to, let's say, one of my team members after I had a meeting with, let's say I had a meeting, Jose, Roberto, myself, and the client. We had a meeting and I need another client, another team member to see what we did, right? And I didn't record it. So I just might use this functionality to verbalize the notes so that they could see and they could read exactly what happened in that meeting. So just a really cool tool for you guys to use if you guys ever want to use that tool. All right, let's go back to the presentation. Let me stop there and see if there's any questions. Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about building a status update presentation with Google Slides. So now we talked about Google Sheets, we talked about Google Docs. There's another tool that's called Google Slide, and it's the same as a PPT, PowerPoint presentation. As a matter of fact, you could upload a Microsoft presentation onto your drive, and you could change it in Microsoft format and then download it back to your computer in Microsoft format. Or you could take that Microsoft doc, upload it to your drive, and then within that drive, what you can do is you can switch it to Google Slide. In this example, we're just using slides. We chose the status report update. Again, I don't like the branding. I'll show you guys how to change the colors. Sometimes people reach out to me and say, hey, Roberto, I love this deck, but this presentation, this PowerPoint, but it's branded the wrong color. And I don't want to go through all the slides. I'll show you how to change that, because there's something called the master slide on Google presentations and on Microsoft PowerPoints. So there it is. We walk through how to create this. We might create a different title slide, lay out the status report, add visuals, share the presentation, and now we can go through and access this. So let's go through this in real time and show you guys how to do this. So we're going to go to let's just bypass everything else and go to the drive. We're going to click here. We're going to go to slides. We're going to go to templates. And then we're going to go to status report overview. And now it's going to populate. There it is, guys. Very, very easy to do. Self-populated. Okay. So remember I told you guys, maybe our brand is not orange. Maybe our brand is gold. Affluent Hispanics and Philanthropy is definitely gold. So what do we do here? We go to what's called, where is it at? I think it's slides, change theme, the theme. Is that it? There it is. Is that it? I think that's it. So we might want to change this to a different color. We said gold, right? Okay. I don't want to do that. Nope. Where is it? And there it is. It changed the color. So now all the colors on the slide is a different color. You could even go all the way down here, depending on how goldy. That's a little bit better. It's a little bit more gold. It's still peachy, but there you go. Now all the different slides here will change color because this is your master slide. And what's really cool here is, let's say you have a logo that you want to have in all your slides. You can add that logo on the bottom right, and it will make sure that all the slides have your logo. So let's go back here. Let's get out of this, and let's go back to our main slide. Okay, so now let's say we want to add a video. You go to insert, you go to video, and I know that, don't tell me how I know, but I know that Jose and Roberto love dancing. And so salsa dancing. And so we're going to add that. This one looks kind of funner. So now it was added to the slide. So now if we want, it automatically plays when we get to that point. Really cool, because they're big into event marketing, experimental marketing, and they want to show that they can put together these type of events, or they have put together these type of events in the past. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Or you might want to do different things. Let's say in the next report, we want to insert images. We want to go into, where's the image? Here we go. And now it gives us a couple options. We can upload from our computer if we have a set image. We can upload from the web. So let's try the web. So what's an image that we want to use? Let's say if we could find branding is social. And so these are all the different images that Google has pulled that allows us to add to the deck. Really cool stuff here. Let's say we want to add other things. Let's see. We can obviously add audio, and that pulls from your current drive, or you can upload different audios from that slide. So now I want to share this with the team. You already know how to do that. I share it with the team and that sends it out to them. And now they're able to edit and amend their presentation accordingly, right? Because this is a client meeting status report, October, let's say 10/5/2021. So we have an agenda, we have an action. So we started with the text, agenda, and now the presentation that allows us to go through and present to our client exactly what's happening, when it happens, and at what time, next steps, and goals for next meeting. Super easy, guys, super easy to do. Doesn't take that long to kind of develop this out for yourselves. Okay, let's go.
We really like this video option that you presented, Roberto, specifically because sometimes, we have presentations on initiatives that we put together that we want to show our future donors. So this is a great tool that you presented. So thank you very much. We appreciate that.
No, of course. I think it's super easy to use. As you saw, that functionality is very key, and you can lock this and you can unlock it, meaning you can make sure that it plays every single time you get to it, or not play every single time you get to it. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. All right, so we get to that. We add visuals, we add images, we show the presentation to our external team, and now we're ready to get started and collaborate on our team members to be able to execute on it. So let's kind of recap before we end this and open it up to Q&A. First things we want to talk about is the Google Sheets to-do list. Very easy to do. You can outline all that there is to do in Google Sheets. You can upload it. You can tag people on it, just like we did in the past, where I tag Roberto or Jose, and we tell them, hey, can you fill out this particular portion of Google Sheets? And then they go in there and start adding and subtracting according to what they do. You can even create subcategories. You can create drop-down menus. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I showed you guys the functionality. You can actually do, which I absolutely love. Let's do this. Let me show you guys how to do something very quickly, which is okay. Where is it at? Format, insert. Here it is, data validation. So now, let's say you guys want to tell people, okay, what's the priority of this? High, medium, low. Okay. So now we can put if it's a high priority, if it's a low, medium priority, or a low priority. We can even add color coding to this if you wanted to. Again, showing you what the priority is as you list out your to-do list. Again, very helpful here. The more functionality you add to the Excel sheet, the easier it is for you to develop that out and represent that to your team so they can know, hey, this is really high priority. And you could add due dates. Like a to-do list is not that valuable unless it has a start and an end date. Okay, so we went through that. We went through the Google Agenda, very easy to add people. We talked about Google Slides and updating Google Slides and leveraging the heck out of it, creating your color scheme, adding images, adding video, adding even music if you wanted to. We're not going to dive into all the different functionalities that Google Slides is. It's very similar to the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, now there's other cool apps that you could definitely use that I would highly recommend. One that I absolutely love is Google Forms. Google Forms allows you to create surveys at your discretion. You can create as many surveys that you want. Let's say you have a certain client base and you want to shoot out a survey about, what subject matters would you like to hear about next. You can create that through Google Forms, and allows you very quickly to shoot out surveys so that your customers can know what's going on. Sometimes in the past, I had clients before they even start talking to you, the client would say, hey, I need you to fill out this form. And instead of creating a PDF form, they'll have the form in the application form in survey format. So you go in there, you type in your name, your company name, your website, and the question you had for that particular client. And that way, they have everything in one place as opposed to via email. You can also go to sites to create your own websites or work portfolio. This tool is useful if you're going to have one-page landing page. Again, we talked about that. Kind of useful. I don't really use this tool too much, but if you don't have a website and you just want something up, this is the tool you want to use. You can also go and create meetings and appointments on Google Calendar. And you can also go to Google Meet and create webinars like the ones we're in without it costing you a dime. It's a completely free service that Google provides you. I think you get up to 200 people per event. Like you can have up to 200 people before they start charging you. So any questions on this particular functionalities that you'd like me to show you? If you guys don't, we could move on to the next page. But if you guys want to, I'm more than happy to show you Google Forms or how Google Calendar works. Everyone good? Okay. Let's keep it moving. All right, so next steps, if you do want to use some of this, thumbs up, I love it. If you do want to use Google Docs, go to your Drive. You obviously have to have a Gmail account. Go to Docs, choose the template that works best for you, and then format it according to your industry and style. Google Sheets works the same way. We have a ton of other workshops for you where we partner with Hispanic, affluent Hispanics that we could run. Let us know what you care about, and we'll set those meetings up and we'll set these webinars up for you. We have a lot of other resources available to you. One of them is free lessons on digital skills. You can learn everything from how to do Word doc, Google Workspace, email marketing. You could do the Google Drive. I'll teach you all the different applications that we kind of went through. I'll give you a deeper dive if you really want to learn how to use that particular skill. We also have a learning center where you can go in there and learn about the Google Workspace. If you have any questions that I didn't answer in this particular tutorial, you can go in there, see the videos, how to use the checklist, a slew of different questions that you might have. We also have what's really cool is these new career certifications through Coursera. You can get certified within 6 months for IT, UX, project management, and Android development, analytics. These courses are, I think they're $60 a course, but it's something that Google's pushing so that you, if you're doing the career switch or you want to dive down and say, hey, I really want to learn project management. I've seen a lot of team members, let's say you're in line for a promotion or you want to differentiate yourself from another team member. I've seen some of my friends use this particular tool where they'll go to their manager and say, hey, I want you guys to pay for my project management class, and I want you to allocate 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week to allow me to work on that particular certification. And they agreed. And so one of my friends got certified for Google Project Management, and they'll take you through a 6-month professional training. And it's amazing. And some of these people that did it, their salaries jumped just by having the certification. And Google actually has a baked-in process by which they can help you promote yourself after you've been certified. If you love learning these little tips and tricks and have other questions and want to learn these bite-sized lessons in 3 to 5 minutes, we have a pretty cool tool called Google Primer. It's an app. Let's say you're waiting in line for whatever reason and you want to read something, or you're going to watch a movie and you're like, hey, I got 5 minutes to burn. Or maybe you're flying and you want to learn some really cool tips and tricks. This is a really cool tool. It's an application in English and in Spanish, really important to note, that allows you to learn about all kinds of marketing, operations, and sales. And you get to choose what lesson you want to learn. So there's a lot of different lessons here. And with that, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. I want to make sure that you guys know we're here for you and willing to help you in any way, shape, or form. Here's all the different tools that we presented today. Feel free to take a picture of it, or we'll send the deck over to Roberto and Jose, and they could share it with you guys after the session. With that, thank you so much. Love to open it up to any questions that you guys may have around what I presented today. And if you guys have some time, please, please, please fill out the survey on today's presentation. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our team here, Jose and Roberto, to see if anyone has any questions.
This is wonderful. This is some very incredible information that you shared with us today, Roberto. We appreciate your time. This is definitely going to help our productivity, and I'm sure it's going to help everybody else that joined the phone call or the Zoom call. Just know that this workshop will be available through our social media channels, Instagram, YouTube. So when you guys get a chance, go to Instagram, follow us at Affluent Hispanic, on YouTube, Affluent Hispanic Philanthropies. And of course, if you guys want to check out our website, is affluenthispanic.org. We are going to be scheduling more of these workshops. I know we have some college students that also signed up today. So we're going to try to work something out to bring some tools over to you guys. Again, we appreciate your guys' time. If you guys have any questions, this is the time to do it. But if for some reason you guys don't, we look forward to connect with you guys in person very soon. And again, thank you guys very much for your time.